All right. Good morning, everyone. I'm so excited to be interviewing my good friend, Austin Jacobs today. Austin is in the moving industry, and he's going to tell us all about his company and his background and how he got to be such an amazing moving professional that all realtors should have in their Rolodex of people to call and refer to clients. So hi, Austin. How are you today, my friend?
I'm great. Thank you for asking. Just grinding, keeping my head down, trying to stay busy and, just thankful.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel the same way. So tell everybody who you are, how long you've been doing this, tell everybody what company you work for and all of that, in case I think everybody knows you, but I don't know, maybe there's somebody that doesn't. So tell everybody.
Sure. So I'm Austin Jacobs. I'm with HuberWilmont Moving and Storage. I've been doing moving services for roughly 9 years. I've probably moved right around 5,000 families in that time frame. 86% of it is all referral based. So I like to build relationships with people to set myself apart. HuberWilmont is a newer company. We're actually in a growth right now, coming up on 3 years. I became part owner of this company about 90 days ago.
Exciting. So congratulations. That's huge. Very well deserved.
Yeah. And I like to think that it was all in God's timing, right? Like, I might not have been ready for that opportunity 3 years ago, but I know that by being faithful in the small things and constantly, growing, that opportunities come. And when they present themselves at the right time, I was prepared to take on this new challenge. So currently I'm overseeing the sales, business development, and some of the marketing strategies for the company, implementing scripts, training processes, and different things to help grow this company from a $3 million company to a $7 million company.
Awesome. That's so exciting. So tell everybody kind of who your ideal clients are, what type of moves you guys do, and what's a great referral for you.
Sure. So ideal clients are anybody that are moving in the Northern Virginia, DC, Maryland area, whether it's locally or they're looking to relocate out of state. We also specialize in commercial moves as well. We have a fleet of 15 trucks. And we have roughly 30 movers on staff. And so we're able to service a lot of people's needs. Ideal client would, be a referral based relationship. That doesn't mean to say that we don't like to move apartments or first time home buyers or anything of that nature. I mean, literally the other day, we just moved some furniture from the top floor of somebody's home to the bottom floor of somebody's home because they were redecorating for upcoming events at their house. So it's a wide range of services that we can offer. But more particularly, I like to develop relationships with people to better service their clients.
Okay, fantastic. So speaking of that, one of your superpowers, I think, are all of your really, really strong and I think long lasting agent relationships. And we're a finicky bunch. Real estate agents are kind of hard, I think, sometimes because we're all over the place. And, I don't know, how do you kind of manage your relationships and keep them strong and stay in touch with people and stay top of mind? I know that, the statistic is that people forget that I'm a real estate agent every 17 days. So how do you make sure that realtors remember that you are their go-to mover? What do you do to make sure that happens?
It's a great question. I try to personalize all of my relationships, right? It's not just transactional for me. Generally, the people that I'm doing business with, I would say I actually like them. I appreciate them. I learn from them. They learn from me. We learn how to depend on each other to be successful in this grueling industry, right? Most people are apprehensive to work with movers because if you look up moving reviews or information, there's probably over 200 and some companies in Northern Virginia. And then not all the times the move goes well. So I think something that separates me from everybody else is when that time does arrive, because partnering with me, and if I move 100 people for you, some of those moves, something's going to happen. But how can we turn that around and make it still an enjoyable experience for the client? How can we take care of them? How can my referral partner know that when that time arrives, I'm going to have their back and their client's back 100% of the way, all the way through it? And so I think that that's something that separates me apart. It's not all about the money, right? Not every client, you know, you have to maximize your profit. I'm assuming also that, you know, realtors, sorry, I think something just happened on my Zoom, that realtors also sometimes, you know, are able to cut their commission to better serve a client's needs. I don't suggest doing it all the time, but my point is, it's not all about the money for me, right? So you might send me a client that's in a specific situation that needs help, and I'm able to service them from that angle. And you might have a customer who's in a different situation that I can service them that way as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And as far as staying in touch with people, you know, I try to stay active on social media. I try to, you know, make people know that I actually care about them, their families, and their businesses. It's not just about the transaction. So I send goofy texts. I reach out to find out what their needs are. I'm a big business planner. When I develop a relationship, every style isn't the same for every person. So the stronger your relationship is, you can understand better what the needs are of that relationship and how you can service it. And most importantly, I'm a person who believes in giving before you get, right? Like I swear by this book called 7 Levels of Communication. It really teaches you how to have a heart for generosity and how to come from a place of giving and being thankful. And in turn, you know, it helps your business grow.
Absolutely. One of the things you do that you're good about is picking up the phone, right? So, you know, sometimes it seems like the era of phone calls is like over and we're just texting each other, we're emailing, maybe run into each other somewhere, but you are really good about picking up the phone, especially when you get a referral, when someone calls you and tells you, hey, Jennifer Mack, you know, told me to call you, you call me and you let me know, hey, this person called me. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm going to see them tomorrow, or, hey, I just left their house or whatever. So I think that phone call goes a long way. Don't you agree?
I agree. Communication is 100%, you know, important, right? It's nothing like referring somebody and not knowing what happened, or if the person ever called you, or giving that feedback or that follow-up. And whether I win the deal, don't win the deal, I reach out and I try to tell people that I was referred over, let them know what happened, and stay in touch with them so they know that, hey, I'm servicing your client. You can trust me with your client. I'm going to make sure that this dialogue stays open so you know that I'm taking care of them properly for you.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit about the process with your company. So if one of my sellers calls you today and says, hey, Jennifer told me to call you, what does your process look like? Is it you going to their house? Are you assigning it to one of your salespeople? And then at what point do they sort of get handed off to the next person in the process? What can people expect from you?
So I'm 100% in production. If a realtor refers me to somebody, when you refer me to somebody, I handle your client. I'm the person that goes out, calls them, sets the schedule, sets the meeting, sets the walkthrough, collects the credit card information from them or their check, gets them on the calendar. Then in the background, we have a team of move coordinators and dispatchers that take it from there. So I set them with all of that up, pass it off to my move coordination team, who in turn gives them a welcome call. We have a several step process to make sure that we maximize the communication and minimize the stress throughout the moving process. So as soon as they make a reservation with us, within 24 to 48 hours, they receive a welcome call from our team, greeting them, letting them know that we have them on the calendar, going back over their order with them to make sure that it's in right standing with the way that they want. Then after that, they will receive a confirmation email in the next 24 to 72 hours where they would need to sign some documents that agrees to the terms and conditions of the move. Then 24 to 72 hours prior to their move date, they get a confirmation call, going back all over the confirmation email, making sure that there wasn't anything that has changed or we need to add some packing services or whatever the case may be. We want to make sure that they understand that we have them on our calendar and that we're coming, and they don't need to stress about the move any longer. It's taken care of.
Okay.
Then afterwards, we follow up, get their review. We want to post that online. We want to make sure that they were happy. And so we have a similar process to following up as well.
Okay. How do you find your movers? And then how do you retain them and make sure that they stay with you, a long time, hopefully, and that they're happy? How do you do that?
That's a great question. We have a couple people on staff that do a lot of the actual research to finding for the movers, right? Like our operations, our VP of operations handles training them. But we do training in our warehouse. We create simulations for them to kind of be a day in the life. And so for the first part of the training, you're essentially just unwrapping and rewrapping furniture, and all we're looking for is your attitude through the process, right? You're
Okay.
not necessarily meant to be an expert on how to wrap furniture or disassemble furniture, but in the summertime, you're doing this for 8 hours, it's going to get hot. People, want you to be doing it with a smile on your face. We want to be the Chick-fil-A of moving. We're looking for that attitude, and then we can refine your skill set in that process. The community that we pull from is largely Hispanic. We do have a lot of Hispanic movers. Something that we're rolling out in January is we're big on empowering people. Whether you stay with me for 6 months or 6 years, I want you to know that you left being a better version of yourself than you were when you started. So in the moving industry, there's a lot of communication barriers that I've learned over my 9 years with the clients. And so we started English immersion classes in January, free to all of our employees, where they can come to the warehouse and take free classes to learn how to speak English. And I think that that's important because it doesn't just empower them to do the job well here, but it empowers them throughout the community to do whatever they want to do next.
Wow, that's fantastic. I love that. That's such a great idea.
Thank you.
Very good. Very good. Any other ways that you would say that your company is different from other companies? Like you said, there's like 200 or more moving companies. What else do you all do that's different? What can we as agents say to our clients that they can expect from you that would make them want to call you versus one of the other big guys?
Absolutely. So a lot of companies use a bunch of subcontractors. We don't do that.
Okay.
Right?
And what do you mean by that?
So in the subcontractor world for moving, a lot of people's business models are hiring subcontractors where they own their own trucks within the organization, but then they're able to hire their own moving team and they vet their own people. Whereas we vet our own people, we own all our own trucks. And so there's never any confusion about the people that are coming out on your job. They've been vetted, they've been processed, they've been looked through, and they're fit to work. I also like to think that the details matter to us, right? All the way from the uniform down to the way the truck is presented when it arrives to the client's house, right? We have a uniform that isn't just, I want to say like 25 of our movers have name badges that are scannable name badges, right? Just the way that we present ourselves from the beginning to the end is in the detail. And for me, that sets the standard for what you're going to experience throughout the whole process, that the details matter from the uniform to the truck. All of our trucks light up like Christmas at nighttime. So a lot of people like that. Most people in the industry aren't doing that as well. And then the way that they're equipped and kept clean and sanitized throughout the month is something that would separate us. Additionally, you get me, right? It's me. But I was just kidding.
The most important.
Ultimately, I like to think that just those processes set us apart from, a large company that might have 30, 50, or 100 trucks where 60% of them, not to talk bad about owner operators. I think there's a great place for that in a lot of businesses, but you lose service control and you can lose other control of the move when you allow the subcontractor to take over everything. Also, we do dedicated truck moves for long distance moves, right? So like the people that arrive at your house in Virginia, DC, or Maryland are the same people that arrive at your house in Texas, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina. We're not partnering with a larger Van Lyons. We're not sharing the truck with another family to where you can have loss or damage or your items don't come to your house the right way. And then by keeping the same employees consistent throughout, this allows you to know the people that are going to be at both locations, and it creates a safety, security, and a stress-free process for them.
Okay, fantastic. One more question for you, because I get people texting me all the time while the movers are at their house, and they say, should I provide lunch? And what do I do for tipping? So tell us the honest answer on that.
Yeah, so I always encourage tipping, and I think it's nice if you provide lunch. Is it mandatory? Is it necessary? No, right? You're, you know, like, moving isn't like, oh, 20% tip gratuity like it is at a restaurant. But I definitely tell people, don't try to tip movers in alcohol. It's insulting. They can buy their own, right? Don't,
Okay, good to know.
you know, like if you're going to provide a tip, don't ever give anybody less than $25 per person, right?
Okay.
The general tip for somebody is anywhere between $25 and $75 per person, per day. But
Okay.
tips are not mandatory. All of our movers are paid anywhere between $1 to $3 more an hour than most of my competitors. So they're definitely taken care of, but it's nothing like rewarding somebody for beating your estimate, right? If your estimator quotes you $2,000 and your move comes in at $1,500 because these guys just hustled and blew your mind and worked so fast, why wouldn't you want to honor them with a little bit of extra money? I mean, that's what you're supposed to do. But definitely $25 to $75. If you do provide them food, don't buy pizza, right? I started out on the trucks. I don't know how y'all feel, but after you eat 2 or 3 slices of pizza, what do you want to do? I want to sit down and take a nap.
Yes.
So we want to have energizing foods, fruits. You know, if you're going to buy lunch, do sandwiches or cheeseburgers, or even ask them, hey, do you have a preference on what I order for you?
Okay.
Have Red Bulls and water and juices available, or coffee, you know, but it's not mandatory. But when you do it, don't just think pizza. It's the worst thing that you could give a mover.
I love that you were honest about that, because that's always been my thought. And I'm like, oh my gosh, everybody probably does that. These guys don't want to eat pizza 6 days a week. So, okay, that is good to know. And lastly, Austin, how can people get a hold of you the best? What do you prefer?
I prefer you to call me or text me directly. My cell phone number is 703-937-7772. Or you can jump on the HuberWilmont website at www.hwmoving.com. You can, you know, fill out an inquiry form right there. But if you're looking to work with me directly, or you want to build a referral partner relationship, you know, just text me, call me. I'm here to help, and I'll be very responsive.
Awesome. I know you will. I can definitely vouch for that. So thank you so much, Austin Jacobs. I appreciate you. I consider you not only a colleague and a referral partner, but also a great friend. And I'm so excited for all of your success, and look forward to many more years of a friendship and partnership in business. So thank you for your time today. I know you're busy. And everyone, please reach out to Austin for all of your moving needs. He will definitely make sure that you are well taken care of. And don't buy pizza for your movers. Get them something else.
Get them something. Thank you, Jennifer.
All right. Goodbye, my friend.
Goodbye.